I was told by Kevin Smith told me on the phone, Speaker Boehner's not going to do funny. We don't do funny. He's bad at funny. Okay. All right, fine. That's cool. We just want Speaker Boehner to speak. This is a congressional dinner. The Speaker never attends these dinners, and somehow we got him here tonight. Speaker Boehner and I have a pretty special relationship. For most of you that don't know that, and I don't think he knows that either. We actually have a lot in common. We have football in common. He played at Cincinnati Moeller High School under the legendary coach Jerry Faust. I played at Towson University, also known as Towson State. Governor O'Malley's wife was also an alumni. I was a quarterback. He was a linebacker. Linebackers hate quarterbacks. He also was a long snapper. I was confused one night and I told him, I heard you played center. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Back up there, Chief. I didn't play center. I was like, I'm not trying to put my hands under your butt. I just want you to come to the dinner. He has a tan, I don't. I say hi to him in the hallway. He just kind of walks by, mumbles, doesn't really speak to me, because I'm not wearing a tux. I'm wearing a camera. I'd like to show you a couple of photos of Speaker Boehner and I in one of our more touching moments. I'm showing him how I took the snap from center. And he looked like he maybe wanted to practice that a little bit. This is Speaker Boehner letting me know I should probably go on a diet soon. I think his words there were, that's kind of big. And finally, this is Speaker Boehner looking lovingly at me. Yes, we have a man crush, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to cry, I know it. Of laughter. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Speaker of the House, John Boehner.
Well, Jay, thank you, and we should get his camera out of the way. You keep tripping over it, now I'm tripping over it. And Wallace, thank goodness you don't have that Pittsburgh Steelers hat on. We've seen enough of it already. Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are fine. I'm fine, just like the private sector. I know some of you are a little slow out there. You know, it's truly an honor to be Wayne Brady's warm-up act tonight. You know, I was in a cloakroom the other day, and I mentioned some of my colleagues in a cloakroom that I was going to be sitting next to the guy who hosts Let's Make a Deal. And one of my colleagues, you know, one of those more principled colleagues of mine said, don't even think about it. So you can imagine that the RTCA is already circulating a letter. You know, when I get ready to go out and do an event like this, my staff usually comes in and tells me what to say. Or more accurately, they usually come in and tell me what not to say. You know, they said, well, now you can't go out there and make fun of the press. I said, okay, fine. I do that all day anyway. All you have to do is ask Loudmouth, Luke Russert. You know, he's so rude, loud, he's taller than everybody, he's louder than everybody. Behave yourself, Junior. Behave yourself. Now listen, now you all know that I kid with all of you. I long believe that you only tease the ones that you love. While I think that we should take our work seriously, I've never believed that we should take ourselves as seriously as most people on Capitol Hill do. But when it comes down to it, I've tried to make every reporter's life a little easier. And I was happy to work with Jay and Jill Jackson and John Wallace and other folks on Capitol Hill to help expand media access. Now, it wasn't much of a lift when they said to me that expanded media access didn't mean that I had to sit down and do an interview with Ed Schultz. Now, that was my idea of a grand bargain. I know some of you are already out there tweeting, and that's not real polite, and Ed's having a real tough week. Now, I don't watch him either, so I wouldn't know. So my staff told me to say. Listen, speakers have come a long way when it comes to dealing with the media. You know, back in 1952, Sam Rayburn, just as radio and television were coming alive, banned cameras and microphones in all public areas and covering all public proceedings. And he also refused to do any Sunday show. You hear that, Kevin Smith? Now, Carl Albert, who followed him, wasn't much better. He once said that the media played a largely intrusive role on Capitol Hill. Wow, whatever gave him that idea? You know, then Tip O'Neill came along, and you know, his point was, well, if you think public opinion of the Congress is low now, wait till they put us all on TV. And then, of course, there was Newt. Now, you know, Newt's in a league all by himself when it comes to the media. In fact, he's kind of in a league all by himself when it comes to almost anything. But these days, making our operation more transparent and more accountable is a real priority. You know, we're pushing legislative data online. We've got cameras in the Rules Committee now. You can go live stream, watch all of my press events at speaker.gov. Now, a word to the wise. Before you go out there, understand that the microphones and the cameras are already on. You know, I learned this the hard way last September when we were waiting for the President to come and give a joint address to Congress, and I was standing up there with Vice President Biden. And we were talking about golf. Thank God we were talking about golf. You know, it could have been anything. Thank goodness it was just golf. Now, you know, a lot of people ask me, well, what do you and Vice President do up there? Well, usually what I do is listen, because Joe just talks and talks and talks and talks. And every once in a while he tries to give me some advice on keeping it together. And he'll say, now, John, you know I love you, but you've got to stop making everything such a big... Well, you know the rest of the story. Listen, I'm proud of the fact that we've opened up the People's House. A vibrant press makes for a vibrant Congress. In these trying times in our country, I think that's a good thing for all of us. Listen, I know, you all know, I've never imagined I'd ever have a chance to be the Speaker of the House. Never imagined I'd appear on all these networks and all these programs. But I'm truly thankful for the privilege and the opportunity to make all of you look good. Listen, before I close, this is as good a time as any to bring together the first branch of government and the fourth estate. And all of us owe a big debt of gratitude to the folks at the Senate and the House Radio and TV Gallery. So I want to acknowledge Mike and Olga, who really do a great job for all of us on Capitol Hill. And I want to thank them and their staffs and the people who do the credentialing, the people that keep all the trains running on time. It helps all of us do a better job on behalf of the American people. And with that, let me just say thank you for having me. God bless the Congress of the United States, and God bless our country. Good night.
So for those of you that don't know, Speaker Boehner is a Merlot man. He loves Merlot. But And we wanted to go out and get him a really good bottle of Merlot. In fact, we were going to bring it here tonight. But then we found out that there was a $10 limit on the gifts that we could give to Congress, correct? So we went to 7-Eleven, and the guy told us this tastes just like Merlot. Yeah. This is for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.